The farm is really a collection of long, narrow stables and a few fenced-in riding areas. A turn-of-the-century house sits near the road beside a large gravel parking lot. It was abandoned when the farm's matriarch lost her senses and was committed to a home shortly before the millennium. When I visited the house, an aviation student occupied the apartment above the garage. I pulled into the gravel lot next to a dirty pickup truck and killed the engine. I left the satchel in the car, opting for just a notebook and pen. As I got closer to the nearest barn, I noticed a steady stream of adolescent girls walking in and out. None of them wore the black uniforms and rounded hats I associated with girls on horseback at county fairs. One carried a saddle almost half her size. Walking slowly, looking casual, I followed. Inside the stable, the pungent smell of manure hung thick in the air, mixed with the aroma of fresh hay and grain. "Can I help you?" a young woman asked, brushing the mane of a towering black mare. Its nostrils flared and vibrated loudly as the animal exhaled. "I'm looking for the owner of Holly Hill Farms. Is she around?" "She's teaching right now, out back. She'll be done in a couple minutes, though. You can wait by the fence." I thanked the young woman and walked through the stables and out the other side. To my left was a riding circle where another girl, this one about 10 years old, rode a tan horse. The girl trotted along, responding to the commands of a squat woman in dirty overalls. I leaned against the fence and watched, doing my best to not look like some leering stranger. After about 5 minutes, the woman shouted, "That's enough." The girl slipped off the horse and onto the ground before pulling at the bit and leading her animal back toward the stable. The girl did this gracefully, and I pictured Amy doing the same thing, the same way. No doubt Margaret Mihalovic had stood against this very fence, smiling with pride at the sight of her daughter managing such an adult task. "Hello," said the riding coach. She reminded me of the sort of woman who frequents church bake sales. "I'm writing a story about Amy." I left the first name hanging out there in order to judge her response. How well did she remember Amy Mihalovic? Pretty well, it seemed. She didn't even hesitate to respond. "Oh," she said. "Well, she was out here a lot the summer before her abduction. I'm Holly Anzenberger. I'm the owner of Holly Hill Farms." "Can we sit down somewhere and talk for a few minutes?" I asked. "Sure," Anzenberger said. She motioned for me to follow her to a large barn behind the stables. Stepping through a gigantic barn door, I found myself in an enclosed riding arena, behind a wooden wall that contained the exhibition ring. The air smelled of cedar and pipe tobacco. I had been to an Amish auction once that smelled exactly like this. It reminded me of bearded farmers selling suburban ranchers a stock of inbred runt pigs. Not a good smell. It set me on edge. "This way," Anzenberger said. At the front of the building, accessible from inside, was a cramped office and meeting room. Brochures for leasing and boarding horses at Holly Hill Farms sat in a display case against one wall. A proud equestrian tradition in Avon Lake, Ohio, since 1970, one read. On the front was a picture of a girl in full uniform, leaning forward on a brown horse as it jumped a short obstacle. Indoor riding arena. Fun and more. Anzenberger sat in a chair in the center of this room, and I opened a folding chair next to her. "So what do you remember about Amy?" I began. "Well, it was a long time ago." Something about Anzenberger's tone seemed strange, some indistinguishable quality under the surface. I brushed it off as a touch of annoyance at the inconvenience of my impromptu interview. After all, a riding stable is a busy enterprise, and I hadn't called ahead. "I guess I was about 36 years old then," Anzenberger added. That made her 52, though she looked more like someone in her early 40s. But then, her face was much too round for premature wrinkles. "My mother started this facility when I was 17, she said. My dad built all the barns. I got my training certificate in England. Riding is in my blood. This is all I ever wanted to do. I wanted to teach young girls how to ride." "Do you remember anything about Amy and her family?" Anzenberger squinted, as if trying hard to jog her memory. Her expression struck me as unusual, since people typically look off to their left when trying to recollect a past event, a natural behavior some scientists link with visual memories being stored inside the right hemisphere of the human brain. and the fact that each brain hemisphere controls eye and hand movement on the opposite side.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.